Darin and Anita with your Grand Strand Artist Spotlight.
And back from a commercial break, folks, right here, our Spotlight segment. Darin and Anita on Grand Strand, and man, on the phone with us. We've not got to catch up with him in a while to find out what's going on. Name change and all, Sir Jonathan Burton. Jonathan, how are you, man?
Hey, Darin, how's it going, man?
Man, it is going, and I tell you, when you've been knighted and you've added Sir to your name, me and Anita's been talking about that in the show. You have stepped up in the world, my friend.
Yeah, well, you have to step up the game, and sometimes with artists, you have to reinvent yourself.
Right.
I found that there are so many Jonathan Burtons in the world. We had a meeting about it. We did the name change to separate me. So now when you Google Sir Jonathan Burton, only one Sir Jonathan Burton comes up.
You get the real Sir Jonathan Burton.
Exactly. The one that knows you and the one that knows all my people in Charlotte, the Carolinas.
Exactly.
It's not an ego trip, man. It's basically I had to do some things to reinvent myself, like the artist formerly known as Jonathan Burton.
I love it, man. Well, I tell you, whatever you've done, it has been real successful. You've been in the beach music market and the Southern soul market, just really all over for a long time. But the three songs, we'll start with the first two that are on the charts right now, and the other one is working its way up. It's Too Much Booty Shaking, and you had Steppin' out there. Man, I think you've knocked it out of the ballpark with both those songs.
Well, man, I really appreciate it, man. After a while, desperation will make you write a hit song. I wasn't getting no calls for no gigs. I wasn't getting no call for appearances. And finally, when I wrote the Too Much Booty Shaking, the phone started ringing again. Exactly.
Well, I tell you, you've wrote tons of songs over the years that are just smoking, and wrote a lot of songs for other artists that folks might not know about.
Yeah, the Coastline Band, they're still riding the crest of that She's Pouring It On.
Yes.
And then I've even recorded that one over myself, and I found that there are a few other artists that have recorded She's Pouring It On.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the most recorded songs by myself, and I'm proud of that. But I just wish those people would go ahead and send me my checks.
The royalties, man.
Yeah, the royalties are a little slack. I've been going to the mailbox, but I haven't been seeing anything from all those other people. Don't worry, I will gather them all up before it's all over.
You got to love this thing called the music business, man.
Oh, you have to love it, man. It's like what you call a labor of love. I wake up every day now, and I'm in the studio. I have my own studio now at the house. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to start working on another album as we speak. Just get ready to go in the studio when you call. It just don't stop. That's one thing I learned from General Johnson, when I was working around General and Ken Knox, Danny Woods, is that you got to keep a record coming. I finally invested and bought my own studio. That way, the only thing that's going to stop me from making a record is me.
Right, exactly. It keeps your name out there.
So that's what I've been basically doing, man. And God has been good, man. He's really been good to me.
I tell you. Well, Too Much Booty Shaking, great. Steppin', great. And I love it when you say it's not the big R this time. It's just little old me. I think that's really great, man. Just knowing you and hearing you say that is awesome.
Well, R. Kelly had a song called Step in the Name of Love.
Correct,
and
right.
At the time when I was with another company that I'm not going to mention yet because they haven't sent my royalties yet also, but they had said you need to do a stepping song. And it finally dawned on me one day, and I was in stepping mode. So I had turned on R. Kelly's Step in the Name of Love, and I listened to a couple more step songs, and I said, well, if I'm going to do a step song, this would be my approach. And that's basically how I wrote that song. I didn't copy it from anybody or anything. I just listened to some stepping songs.
Right.
Then I finally said, how would SJB come out of this stepping mode? And that's what I wrote was Stepping All Night Long.
Well, I tell you, and I think folks are stepping to it all over the Carolinas and down through the Southern soul world, doing that stepping thing with you, man.
But I appreciate it, man. I really do. Thank you, Carolina and Virginia and all the rest of the 51 states.
Out there in the world. Stepping to Sir Jonathan Burton. Well, Jonathan, the new song out there, The Party Don't Start Until I Get There. Now, I know you, and that's sort of correct. I think you wrote that about yourself.
Yeah, well, most people that have seen me perform, they know they better get on their seatbelts because we can have a bumpy ride when I come out there. I basically wrote that song because Too Much Booty Shaking was taking off.
Right.
The record company was calling me all the time saying, man, you're number one here, you're number one there. Never went number one on the beach charts, but that's okay. I still love the beach folk. But anyway, what I'm saying is it was going to number one. One day I got in my studio and I took the original music for Too Much Booty Shaking and I erased it.
Right.
and then I recreated Too Much Booty Shaking. So the Party Don't Start Till I Get There was spawned from Too Much Booty Shaking. So I felt if that vibe was doing well, I think the vibe could probably do well again. Back in the 70s, people used to record a hit record.
Right.
And then if it was a hit, they would come back with a song that was almost similar to the one that was a hit. So I tried an old 70s trick by writing a song from a song that was already a hit, you know.
And it worked.
And well, it's working. I haven't seen, you know, when Booty Shaking came out, the way that it went up the charts, it took a minute. So once it finally did get there, you know, people were saying, man, that song is not going to go anywhere. It'll be around forever. So the Party Don't Start Till I Get There. It's slowly getting almost in that same position. We'll see what it does.
It is, and I told you off the air, I've seen it on some charts out there, and I think with it being on our show, man, because of Darin and Anita, we're going to blow this song out of the Carolinas.
I know you are, man. You're the one that blew it out for me with Old Time's sake. Also, a little bit of love goes a long way.
Long way, yes.
A long way, yeah. So I really appreciate you, Darin, and we're brothers, man, in that music thing, man. No matter what goes down or how mad I might get at you or you might get at me, man. You know, there's always going to be love for Darin Henley, brother. And not only that, you know, a lot of people call me from Jersey and Florida and Georgia and Mississippi, and they're trying to figure out, what do I need to do to get something out there on that beach? And I usually tell them to call you. I'm sure you've gotten some calls.
I have got some calls from some folks, and I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, and you know, I always tell them, make sure you tell them I told them to call you.
Right, exactly.
You know, that's what they call name dropping.
Yeah, exactly. Use as many as you can in this world, man.
I know. I tell them, call Darin Henley and tell them I told you to call.
Well, Jonathan, let's give them where they can get this album. Sir Jonathan Burton, In the Zone, Southern Soul Style, Volume 1. And you can pick that up at cdsrecords.com. That's cdsrecords.com for Jonathan Burton's latest album, Sir Jonathan Burton, In the Zone, Southern Soul Style, Volume 1.
Yeah, if you go to cdsrecords.com, you can find anything that I've been doing in the last couple of years. As a matter of fact, come January, I've got a Volume 2 coming out in January.
Cool.
So it's got a whole bunch of other new songs from Sir Jonathan Burton.
So in January, be looking for Volume 2, Southern Soul Style, from Sir Jonathan Burton.
I'm looking forward to doing some gigs down on the beach, man. If anybody needs to get in touch with me, call Darin.
There you
call
go.
Darin.
You can do that, and I can send them straight on to you. Got your number, and we can hook them up with Sir Jonathan Burton.
Yeah.
Again, to find out more about Jonathan Burton and his album, cdsrecords.com to find out more. Jonathan, thank you so much for the interview. I sure do appreciate it. And let's give them the new song.
This is Sir Jonathan Burton, and this is my latest hit. The Party Don't Start Till I Get There.
The party don't get started. It won't get started, no. Party don't get started till I get there. The party don't get started. It won't get started, no. The party don't start till I get there. I'm on my way.
Strand, a music evolution.